So I'll start with a brief introduction about me, right? Like I have 15 years of industry experience, like working with enterprise monitoring and management solutions. Sorry. Uh, like last 10 years, like I was part of Microsoft. I started as a consultant, then I was a premier field engineer working with like top customers in India and Southeast Asia. And then like I became a product manager and I was with Intune product group for like 3.5 years. So I was managing assignment filters, if you are aware of it. And I have actually developed the Windows quality update distribution report that is present in Intune today. So those are my little accomplishments over the past 3 years as a product manager. And recently, like I moved out to Microsoft and I started my career with ThoughtWorks. So right now, like I'm a domain specialist, specialized in like M365 technology products and technologies, and like I'm working with multiple customers of ThoughtWorks. So I have shared my links to my blog post, LinkedIn, Twitter, and email. Like, feel free to get in touch with me, contact me. You can ask any questions with respect to Intune, and like if you are interested in getting some help with the custom solutions that you wanted to develop for your customers, please feel free to reach out to me, like through my email or like through any of these platforms. With that, like I will move to today's topic. So yeah, I mean, I was pondering for a couple of weeks, like what topic should I take to present, since it's my first presentation outside of Microsoft and for the HTMD community. So I was thinking about talking about Graph APIs and PowerShell scripts, but then like I thought I would talk about a special solution, right? Like which many of you folks may not be aware of, right? And it would be definitely helpful in your day-to-day activities, like managing Intune for your customers. So today's topic would be around managing Win32 application package schedule tasks. So you know about schedule tasks, like I will,
Yeah,
sorry?
try to join this one, this call.
Sorry.
Go ahead, GK. I think that was not the intended for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So many of you know schedule tasks. So today, like I will explain like how to create schedule tasks using PowerShell scripts and like package it as a Win32 application so that like you can deploy it and target the managed devices. And I will also demo it with a example, right? Like that is most requested by many of the customers that I have talked along these years. So yeah, I will have a brief introduction about the PowerShell scripts capabilities in Intune. What are the limitations? And then like a little bit about schedule tasks, and then we will get into action on creating and packaging the schedule tasks as Win32 apps, along with our demo. Guys, like if you have any questions in between, like please feel free to stop, or like you can wait till the end to have a question session. So yeah, with PowerShell scripts, like as many of you know, right, like Intune provides capabilities to execute PowerShell scripts in a couple of ways, at least natively. One is like Windows platform scripts, like where you can upload your script and like target it to a group and like the scripts gets executed. The other option is to have proactive remediation scripts, like which is a package. You can have two scripts, like one to detect an issue, and if the issue occurs, then you can use a remediation script. There are other ways, like where you can leverage proactive remediation in the ad hoc basis, like where you will not have any remediation script, like but you can use only the detection script to execute it, and like you can invoke the script for a group of devices from the Intune portal as well. So in either cases, like Intune Management Extension is responsible, right, like to what to say, like to process the admin requests on the PowerShell scripts and execute them in the script. Like if you deploy a script, like the IME agent like gets installed by default if it detects any script or Win32 application for the device. And from there on, like Intune Management Extension is responsible for all the scripts execution and like getting the results back to Intune, all those things. So since IME handles both scripts and Win32 apps, like it always handles partial scripts before any Win32 app can be installed. So right, there is a service like Microsoft Intune Management Extension, right, like which runs and like uh, it polls Intune, right, like once in an hour, and whenever it detects a new script or a new app, it tries to install and execute those scripts in the device. So for platform scripts, as I said, like once the script execution is successful, it doesn't repeat the invoking, right? Like so, if it fails, then it tries for 3 times in a day, and if the script fails for consecutively for 3 times, then the GRS, which is like global retry schedule, comes into picture, and the script is put on hold for next 24 hours. So only after the next 24 hours, like the script will again be retried unless the script is modified in the portal side. Whereas like proactive remediation, like you can actually schedule the script like once or hourly, like you can mention like 1, 2, or like whatever the number of hours you wanted to schedule and daily. But then like if you wanted to run the scripts more frequently, like proactive remediation cannot be leveraged. So I have seen some customers like who have kept the script uh, with only detection, right? Like and not targeted to any devices, but they use a Graph API in the backend and try to run the script on group of devices like every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, etc. So I would not recommend such practices because like though like you give a lot of requests to Intune, like Intune has a throttling in the service side, and not all your requests will be honored on the timely basis. So I have seen customers doing all such fancy things, but then like that may not yield you the result that you like to have. Any questions so far? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. You have any question? Okay. Moving ahead. So these are the limitations, right? Like the platform scripts provide one-time execution. It is slow and unreliable because like we never know like when we will kick in and the script will be executed. So again, like when failure happens, like how these things are handled, etc. So limited error reporting and troubleshooting. So you have to go through the logs into an IME agent logs to understand like whether the script has been successful or not. And there are some registry files like where the details are captured. So it's really hard to know like whether the script has successfully executed or failed and like what was the reason for failure unless you log into the system, like 1 or 2 devices. Again, like it comes with the device context, user context, standard, admin, etc. So it's a difficult call that needs to be made. So the scripts have 30-minute timeout. So if there are any large scripts that needs to be executed, then this may not be the right way to do. Again, like there is a JSON limit length for the script. So you can see that in the documentation. So if you try to create a really large script, then it might fail. If you wanted to do like VB scripts, batch files, etc., then yeah, we cannot do it with a partial. Like I understand like VB script is getting deprecated, but still like there might be some niche cases like where you might need to have VB scripts executed. So you cannot do that through Intune. And the dependencies on the IME agent, and you have the limited scheduling options that we discussed. So now, like we know these are the limitations, but rightly we discussed, right? Like because of these shortcomings, right? Like we wanted to move away from, not move away from scripts, like in the sense, for majority of the use cases, the scripts can be leveraged in Intune, whereas like for some niche cases, we may not be able to leverage the existing script capabilities, and that's where like the scheduled tasks come into play. So we all know the power of scheduled tasks because most of the windows operating system maintenance like happens through maintenance scheduled tasks, and even the Intune check-ins, like if you are aware of, happens through the scheduled tasks. So there are a lot of tasks set up when the device gets enrolled into Intune, and all the maintenance and all those check-ins, etc., are handled through the scheduled tasks. So now, like the job at hand is to create a scheduled task, right? Like to solve our problem statement. But then, like how to deploy the scheduled tasks. So we will leverage the Win32 application capabilities in Intune. So we will package the scheduled tasks as a Win32 app, and then like we can build the requirements, detection logic, etc., so that like we can create a proper application package in Intune, and we can try to deploy it to the target users or devices. So what happens is like when the application gets targeted, like the application tries to get installed. So we will create the scheduled task, we will place the files in required places, and then like we will capture the success or failure of the creation. So from there on, like the task can run independently, like without any relation with Intune, right? Like, and it can perform its own tasks on the trigger that you have configured. So the scheduled tasks come with a lot of triggers, like it can be time-based triggers, like which we more often use, but we can also leverage like system event triggers, like at logon, at reboot, etc. Same thing like with user logon and other things. And certain cases, like we can use other conditional triggers as well, custom triggers that we wanted to build. And based on other application events, etc., right? Like the task can be invoked. So regarding the creating the packaging scheduled tasks and Win32 apps, like I will skip the deck and I will take you through some of the scripts that I have. I will explain the use case that I'm trying to solve, right? Like, and then like I will show like how to create a scheduled task, how to package it as a Win32 app and deploy it in one or two devices, and I will show you like how it gets executed. So yeah. So I will give a brief overview on the problem statement, right? Like you all know, like we can leverage Intune to configure the BitLocker encryption in through the configuration policies. And how many of you know, like Intune only supports like TPM enabled BitLocker, but it doesn't support configuring the pre-startup pin. Have you guys encountered about this ask from your customers? Okay. So yeah, so if you compare with SCCM, right? Like SCCM allows you to configure the BitLocker encryption, and like you can also set up a startup pin, and that has been used by a lot of customers, especially like banking and other insurance, financial customers, because like they want to have provide like really a robust security for their device. While TPM based encryption works great, certain organizations, like I said, like the financial organizations and some other organizations have a security initiative that they wanted to enforce a startup pin on top of the BitLocker encryption. So Intune does not provide that capability natively. Like while it has the settings to configure a pre-startup pin, but you cannot actually configure the pin in the device, right? Like because like Intune does not have an agent to show a pop-up which captures the user input and like sets the pin. So many of the customers that I have spoken previously, like have requested to build this capability on top of the existing capabilities, so that like their expectation is like when the device gets provisioned, post provisioning, the device has to get encrypted using BitLocker, and it should give a pop-up to the user so that like the user can set up a startup pin. It can be like 6 to 20 digits. Like some customers have like 12-digit pin. Again, like it can have like characters, numerals, etc. Right? And once the pin is set, like the device, whenever the device gets rebooted, like the user has to give the startup pin to get into the device. So since this capability is not available in Intune, I have I will show the components of my scripts, right? Like so, this is the install command I'm going to use to install the Win32 app. So if you see, right, like PowerShell.exe, it calls this configure BitLocker pin underscore ts, which is like task scheduler .ps1, and it is installed. I hope like you are all aware of Win32 apps, like how to create Win32 apps, how to package Win32 apps in Intune. So with that understanding, like I'm going ahead. So there is another file like uninstall thing, like it again calls the same script, but with the parameters uninstall. Now, like this is the script. It takes the intent as a parameter. And now, like if the intent is installed, it creates the scheduled tasks. If the intent is uninstalled, like it removes the scheduled tasks. So now, like what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to copy the files in the source, which I will show there. So these are the two files, get BitLocker pin and set BitLocker pin. So it will copy the two files to Windows, C drive, Windows scripts and BitLocker. It will create a scheduled task called get BitLocker pin. And if you see, right, like you can see the arguments and like action. There is no trigger for this task because this get task will run under the user context, and it will be like interactive, and it will be invoked by the set BitLocker pin task. Now, task 2 is like set BitLocker pin. So I'm just giving like allow start if on batteries, because most of the endpoints would be running on batteries at times. So the argument is to invoke the set BitLocker pin.ps1 action. You can see the same thing. Trigger this task as a trigger, like it starts at like 1 a.m. and it runs every 5 minutes for 30 days. And now like the task is registered. So yeah, anyways, I will share all these details like by end of the meeting, so that like you can all have access to these scripts. So now like the script, when the Win32 app, when it gets installed, it copies the two files, the set and get BitLocker pin. It creates two tasks, and then like it writes a log file as well, like whether the configuration is successful or not. So if the same, if you wanted to uninstall this package, then you can actually like give a, if you can use the uninstall intent in Intune, and when you do uninstall, like it removes, deletes the files, it tries to remove the unregister the scheduled task. Okay, so then we have the app detection, because like this detection script will be executed before and after the IME agent trying to install the application. So it will first try to run the detection script to see like whether the app is installed. If it finds the app is not installed, then it again tries to install the app through this install command and this script. And finally, like once it says like it is completed, then it again runs the detection script to check like whether the application installation was successful. So how it checks, like it checks whether the scheduled tasks are present, whether the files are present. So if all the use cases are true, then it says like all success. So it exits with gracefully, so that like the detection is successful. If any of these file task is not present, then it exits with error, and then the application is marked as failure. So this is how this whole application is created. So I have a screenshot calling the Intune Win app util.exe. So the source folder is like BitLocker, and the setup file is like the BitLocker pin underscore ts.command, and this is how the package is created. So the created package is here, and I have uploaded that in my tenant. So this is the application uploaded. So you can see the command install configure BitLocker ts.cmd uninstall command. The others are like mostly default settings. So I say like suppose it's 64, all these normal settings, and in the detection, like I have used the detection script that I have shown to check like whether the scheduled tasks and the files are present, and if not, like the error, throw an error. Now, like getting into one of the, I will walk you through the script contents later, right? Like I will just complete the demo and I will walk you through the script contents, like what get and set does. Now, like coming into the device, the application is already installed. So now, like I will do a hack to make the application install again. Whenever a Win32 application is installed, like you can see that registry keys in this location: HKLM software, Microsoft Intune Management Extension, Win32 apps, and this is for the user context. And like if it is for a device, I mean, if it has installed for a device, like it would be like 0000. Now here, I know this is a app ID from my tenant. So if you delete this registry key and when you restart the IME agent, it will try to install the install the application again, right? So this is a quick hack to make sure to retry the application installation even if the application was successful. So I will delete this. And this is the GRS key, right? And now, like, I will also delete the tasks so that, like, the detection will say, like, it is not present. And I will also right now, I will restart this IME agent. So what it does is like it tries to go through the list of applications applicable for this device, and if it has already tracked and status is completed in this registry keys, it will ignore. But if that status is not found, it will try to reinstall the application. And while reinstalling, it will execute the detection script to check like whether the application is installed again, and finally, like it will mark the application as successful. So let's, right, and I use the CM trace tool to review the logs. So it will take few minutes while this runs, right? Like I will take this time to showcase the content of the scripts, get BitLocker pin and set BitLocker. So yeah, this is set BitLocker pin. So this script is scheduled to run like every 5 minutes. Right. And as I explained previously, like it checks the encryption status. If the encryption status is fully encrypted for C drive, basically, then it checks like whether the what are the key protectors configured. If only TPM, then if TPM pin is not there, it will again continue to progress. If the TPM pin is already existing, then it will write a log file saying like the TPM pin is already set up. So given the TPM pin is not configured, right? So it gets the get BitLocker pin task, it gets a scheduled task, and now like it checks like whether the OOBE functionality is complete. Since I'm going to target this script at the time of provisioning, right? Like we don't want to show a pop-up when out-of-box experience is running, right? Because the user will not be able to provide any input in that case. So we check like if out-of-box experience is complete. So we are actually leveraging this inbuilt DLL function. So I will share the documentation on it, but you can leverage this code anywhere like where you wanted to determine if out-of-box experience is completed or not. So if the out-of-box experience is completed, then it starts the scheduled tasks, right? Which is the get BitLocker. In the get BitLocker pin, it is like basically I'm using a Windows form to create the UI. And in the UI, like I try to get the pin, right? Like which is like minimum pin is 6. Yeah. So it accepts like the minimum pin is 6 and the maximum is 20. And if the length is not appropriate, it throws an error like pin is not long enough. And you can also add more what to say, like checks, like if you wanted to allow alphabets, or if you wanted to have only numbers, all those things. And this UI will also have two boxes, like one to type the pin and the other one to retype the pin, so that like it can cross validate both are correct. And once it captures the data, like it actually does a encoding, like base64 encoding, and it stores in this particular path, blconfig.txt in the C drive Windows 10. And once this is successful, so it comes back here. And if the task is like ready, which is like, if it is running, like it will keep on looping. If it is ready, that means the task is completed. Then the script tries to read the data in the blconfig.txt, and then like it will try to set up a pin protector. And if it is successful, then it writes to the log that it is successful, and else like it says like pin setup is failed. And we can also add more data to capture the failure in the pins. So now going into this, we go to the IAM.c drive. Yeah, I think it has started now. You can see it is downloading. This is the app ID, DAC. So it is downloading. And you can also see that here. It says it's installed. Sorry, that was old entry. Yeah, it is downloading currently. See GK configure BitLocker pin.ps. Just download. See exit code is 0. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So see, two tasks are created. And let's go to it says it's installed successfully. Let's validate the scripts. Yeah. Scripts are present, tasks are created, and you can also check the log, installation log. It is 11:50. It's a minute back. It says source files copied and configure schedule task configured successfully. So now, like our Win32 app installation is successful. Now going into the task, you can see the next runtime of this task is like 11:55, which is like 4 minutes from now. And at the same time, I will just go to this BitLocker and I will remove the pin, right? Yeah, now the pin is not installed, and we can validate that with this command here. See, only the recovery password and TPM is there. There is no TPM pin. Okay, so when this script runs at like 11:55, it will detect the encryption is successful, but the pin is not there. So it will give a prompt for us to set up a pin. Just to fast track this, right? Like I will execute it like manually. Okay. You see, so what happens is like this script executed, it detected pin is not there, and then like it actually invoked the get BitLocker pin. And now like it has to set up a pin. So I will set up like a pin. Okay. And now it's running. Yeah, it is ready. Now go here. Take the key protect as the TPM pin is set. And you can also try to find that pin, like whatever I was trying to set. Then it's not there. Okay, I think I removed the file at the end of the script, maybe. That could be the reason, but yeah. So now going back to C drive, program data, Microsoft Intune Management Extension. So there is a set BitLocker pin. We started at 11:52. So TPM is not set up. Out of box experience completed. So it is waiting for the prompt to the UI prompt to complete. Then it says like this task is completed and reading the pin, and it is setting up the pin. So I think like in the script, like I delete this file so that like it is not accessible for any user. So that's why like this file is not present. So yeah, so that's how like you can create a scheduled task and like you can leverage it like for setting up the startup pin for BitLocker. And at 11:55 it again ran and it says like TPM pin is already set up. That's it. I'll stop sharing and